Big day and welcome to another cracking edition of the BFNL Footy Show. Thanks to Ballarat McDonald's. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined here by Aaron Nunn. The season is shaping up very nicely, mate.
Great start to the year, Yeendy. Fantastic to see some of the results on the weekend, which is probably bucking the trend of what a lot of people may have thought before the season started. So really good start to the year and can't wait till this weekend's games.
Especially bucking the trend, mate. Melton took down the reigning premiers Darley by 30 points on the weekend. That's a bit of a shock, but maybe an indication of just how well the Bloods are going.
Oh, could not be happier for Melton for this win on the weekend, mate. It's great to see so many of their, VFL listed players coming back into the side, which is great to see. Always good to see players going off into a higher level to play footy, but then come back and back where their roots are at their home clubs and play those games. So it was fantastic to see the Bloods get up and defeat the highly fancied Darley Devils on the weekend.
Yeah, especially on their home turf as well, and that does not happen too often either.
No, absolutely not. It probably put a dampener on the day after they unfurled the premiership flag at the start of the day in very fancy style with the helicopter coming in. So it was great to see. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, unfortunately, they couldn't take the 4 points out there with them, but well done to the Bloods. Redan winless after 2 rounds after going down to North Ballarat City by 14 points. Sammy Dunstan for City kicking 5 goals. He's shaping up to be a pretty formidable force up forward.
Yeah, North Ballarat City are definitely going to be up there this year. They're a very good side. They've recruited a couple of handy players, and obviously they've got Shane Scontra in charge this year, who's a very well-credentialed coach, and great to see him back in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Redan, look, they've lost first two games of the season, but I don't think they'll be too worried. They'll probably be pleased to see the improvement from round 1 into round 2. They obviously got smashed last week against Sunbury, and to see the improvement this weekend, they would have been, not happy to lose the game, but at least they would have been satisfied that they put a better performance on the park than what they did the week before.
And it says a lot about where City's preparation is at as well, because they did get on board by appointing Shane, and that was the first big appointment. It happened just hours after the grand final last year, and they've done all the right things.
Yeah, absolutely. They're ticking all the boxes, and they're come the business end of the year, I'm sure that they'll be up the top end of the ladder. Special mention to the Big O. Great to see the old boy kicking around and slamming 5 goals through on the weekend. It's good to see him, obviously still contributing.
Bad kicking's bad footy, mate, and South certainly showed that on the weekend against the Sunbury Lions. They had 7-12 to half-time to 7 goals too, and ended up losing by 17 points.
Yeah, again, another side that I don't think they'll be pushing the panic button just yet. They've obviously got Brendan Favola to come back into the team this weekend, so they'll certainly welcome him back into the side. Actually, I think they've got the bye this week.
Yeah, they do,
so next week they'll welcome him back. But, I don't think they'll be too concerned. They've played, again, a couple of pretty handy teams in Melton and obviously Sunbury on the weekend. Come the middle part of the season, they'll want to obviously get over the line in these matches, and to do that, you've got to kick straight. So, not quite panic stations just yet, but I'm sure that they'll get things ticking over in the next couple of weeks.
And just looking at some of the other games as well, we had the Lakers get up in their first game of the season against Ballarat, and East Point defeating Sebastopol in a thriller by 10 points. And I guess that's a talking point in itself with Sebas. They had an ordinary performance the previous week in terms of kicking straight, and they've been able to kick a little bit more accurately on the weekend. They're able to push a side that we know will be knocking on the door for finals this year.
Absolutely. The Kangaroos, they're going to be one of the better teams in the competition this year, and I think they've shown that already over the first couple of weeks. And for Sebastopol to run them as closely as what they did on the weekend is a great effort and good signs for Sebastopol. They'll win their fair share of games this year, there's no doubt about that. They just got to get that first one over the line. I'm sure things will start to roll from there. And
Lakers just getting the job done nicely against a more improved Ballarat side.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Ballarat would have been very disappointed with their first round loss to East Point, but to come out and be more than competitive against Lake Wendouree on Saturday night would have been a lot more pleasing. But they've still got a bit of improvement left in them, and they come up against Sebastopol this weekend, and they'll be hoping to cause an upset then. It's strange to be saying that, cause an upset against Sebastopol, but that's where Ballarat are at. They're a very young side, and they've got a lot of kids running around, and I think they're pretty realistic about their rebuild.
Sensational, mate. Thanks to Ballarat McDonald's. That has been the round 2 review. Thanks very much for joining us, mate. We look forward to catching up with you later on in the week.
No worries, Andy.